There is nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine.
You'd be surprised at the things you find when you go looking.
God, it knows I'm here.
Clear your minds. It knows what scares you. It has from the very beginning.
I'm plunging headfirst into some kind of black void of sheer, utter madness.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
It is entitled Naturan de Manto, roughly translated Book of the Dead.
You're gonna die up there.
I've got to return some videotapes.
Well, hello, I'm Chris,
And I'm Joe.
and this is In the Veins. Today we're going to talk about...
Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Yeah. Oh, it's a creepy one.
It's a creepy
so
one.
good.
I'm super excited to talk about it. I watched it twice. I watched it like once with Mel just for the pleasure of watching.
Yeah.
And then I watched it, I speed ran it on Tubi once just to like really get the events down so that my notes would be as clean as possible.
Yeah.
It's a good damn movie.
Yeah.
I just can't get away from how effective and how good it is.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the first... Well, I mean, the guy that made it, he had done documentaries for the producers before.
Interesting.
I think they did like video distribution and they made some documentaries, funded some stuff like that. And they were going to do a documentary about like the history of wrestling in Chicago or something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it fell through. Like they were supposed to purchase all of these old tapes of all of this like local wrestling circuits that whatever. It didn't happen. They didn't end up making it. And so they took the money from that and gave it to this guy and said, make a horror movie.
Wow.
But they didn't give him parameters. They were looking for like the next, some kind of Friday the 13th ripoff, something,
Just a slasher.
something trashy they could turn around and make a quick buck on.
Right.
And then he, thought about what scared him, and it was serial killers. And
And so he made almost a documentary about a serial killer.
oh yeah, I mean, we were just talking about movies that are just barely documentary or barely biopics.
Right.
Well, this is one. It's based on Henry Lee Lucas and what was his partner's name?
I have not one clue. I didn't know this was based on an actual serial killer.
Oh yeah, no. Henry Lee Lucas, they call him the confession killer because he would confess to anything the cops came in with. Like he did kill a ridiculous number of people all over the place, and he did it like this. He traveled all around. He killed people in all different ways. He spent a lot of time in prison where he met his
accomplice,
co-killer.
Okay.
But in real life, and the sister was a real thing. But maybe not the same ending for her that she got in the movie in real life. Yeah. Henry Lee Lucas. He inspired a lot of stuff. I mean, he was like a partial inspiration for a lot of horror movie killers. But yeah. Henry's based on a real person. They just heavily fictionalized it and trimmed it and made it into this. Otis is the other one.
Yeah. Huh.
But
There is an interesting kind of through line of a narrative. As much as it is like a character study, I do think we get to see in the course of the story, Henry kind of try to bring people into his world. And learn that that's kind of not what he's meant to be. You know what I mean?
And if not bring them in, allow them in.
Right.
He maybe isn't putting in the effort, but like Becky, it's Becky, right?
Becky, yeah, the sister, yeah.
She's drawn to him because I was talking to Amber about it. She was always going to pick shitty dudes. Like that's
right. She doesn't have a great track record.
Yeah. Well, but she also has this horribly abusive childhood.
Right.
And she was, she's going to be drawn to these bad people. Well, she falls for a serial killer. And,
yeah.
And he, at one point he jumping all the way to the end of the movie where she says she loves him. He says, well, I guess I love you too. Like,
yeah. Yeah, no, he is totally disconnected. Yeah.
Being in love is what's happening now.
Right. A few details to get through. Official release date's a little muddled because it originally showed at a Chicago Film Festival on September 24th, 1986, but it actually had its official release in the United States is January 5th, 1990.
Well, yeah, they didn't know what to do with it, and they shelved it. They didn't think that it was anything.
Because
they thought it was too intense. It also had a hell of a time getting past the MPAA because it's so brutal.
It is. I mean, like the scenes of murder and killing and torture and killing, which we'll get to.
Sexual assault
and sexual assault. I did look it up though. I mean, the budget is around a little north of $100,000. Low budget horror film. Gross is reported at like a little over $600,000. So it did its job as far as making money eventually.
Eventually.
It was kind of like you said, like we've said before, like made for the home video market.
Kind of, yeah. And the guy that ended up directing there is a sequel to this that I've never seen, and I don't
Henry
know that I want to.
Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Yeah. Well, but the guy that directed that is actually partially responsible for even getting this one released, because he worked for the same guys and he saw it and he took it to them, was like, you need to like get this out there. Why? I think he might have been the one that talked him into letting them put it in a film festival in Chicago that got it some attention.
Right.
But yeah, the guys that paid to make the movie did not do really anything with it once it was done. And then when it finally did break loose, it's widely regarded as, one of the best
classic
serial killer movies, at least. Just it is. It's a modern classic, and it did end up winning a ton of awards.
It did. I did look up the week that it came out, the weekend it came out. I mean, I could talk about the box office that weekend, but like, freaking Back to the Future 2 was still in the box office.
This was
January
not
5th.
competing against Back to the Future 2.
This was not competing against, yes, exactly. Like, this was not made to compete with those movies. It doesn't really mean anything.
Nobody was standing in front of those two posters like, huh,
well,
which one is it for me today?
Exactly. Directed by John McNaughton, written by Richard Fire and John McNaughton. Let's see, we got starring Michael Rooker as Henry.
It was just his birthday a couple days ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
As of the time of this recording, which, by the time it comes out, it'll have been weeks.
Right. But a happy belated birthday to Michael Rooker.
Yeah,
anyway,
happy birthday, Michael Rooker.
He's definitely listening. Tracy Arnold as Becky.
He's our fan.
Tom Towles. Right. Tom Towles is Otis. That's kind of the entire. I mean, there's a bunch of victims. That's kind of the entire entirety of the cast.
Yeah.
That's all the important
honestly,
people.
This movie, you could do a hell of a job of doing this on stage.
For sure.
With just that shitty apartment as the centerpiece.
Yes. I think so. It's a very interesting movie. Let's get into it because I want to.
Yeah.
There's aspects of it that I want to get into, but I want to follow the story to get there. So
okay.
our opening.
Wait, so I should not have jumped immediately to the end of the movie?
We can do whatever we want. There are no rules here. The opening. There's an opening thing with like credits and the titles and stuff. It is like canned, grim but forgettable music and super simple credits, white letters, black background. It is very bare bones.
I do like. You're right. It's not great, but I like the music just because. I don't. It does sound low budget. It sounds lo-fi. It sounds like somebody recorded that shit in their bathroom.
Right.
But it's got like a weird little like creepy chimey thing running through it, and almost an industrial clang kind of. I don't know. I feel like it suits the movie perfectly. I think
I just would have, like a James Bond-esque animated sequence. You know what I mean? That's all I'm asking.
No, the plain black and white credits, yeah. They were just doing the job.
No, I think that it's fine for what it is. The movie stands on its own, quite honestly. Like, I don't think you need to dress up at the beginning. The first shot of the movie, we get into a very interesting artistic place right away, I think. I feel like. An ultra tight close-up shot of a woman's face, and she appears to be sleeping. And as the camera widens out, we start to like sounds of the outdoors start to filter in, and we see plants and grass, and eventually we settle on this is the face of a nude dead woman laying out, in wilderness. A bloody body, it takes us from like this feeling like, oh, it's okay, peaceful sleeping person, to it's a scene of violence that's been enacted.
Yeah. And it's the aftermath of the violence paired with the audio of the actual violence.
That is something else that they do is we get several of these kind of tableaus.
Yeah.
Of dead people, essentially murdered victims, and we get these kind of distorted and processed,
sort of echoey background.
Yeah, processed
distant
sounds,
sounding.
Yeah, of kind of echoes of the violence that carried them there. It's very effective. And there's also like a symphonic tone. It's like a orchestral tone or a choral tone, but like via synthesizer that plays over a lot of them and kind of drowns out other noises. And it's very interesting to me. It's almost like the pervasiveness of the violence within Henry, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
The drone in his head.
Right. And this is one of the things, just to get right into it, this is one of the things that I find really interesting, and I really noticed this time watching it, was that eventually Henry and Otis go on killing together, and we see them doing that. But we only see Henry killing people with Otis.
Yeah.
Every time that, we get several, right at the top of this, we see several tableaus of victims, again, like you said, like with the sounds of the violence echoing in the background, kind of intercut with Henry kind of going about his life.
Yeah.
And that's all we
he's
get.
in a diner.
Right. That's all we get are
the lady.
These almost like still lifes of dead bodies.
And one of them, if you notice, she was wearing orange socks.
Mm-hmm.
That was a direct reference to one of Henry Lee Lucas's victims.
Oh.
Who was a Jane Doe, and they just referred to her as Orange Socks forever because she wasn't identified for a very, very long time.
Right.
But yeah, that was a direct reference to an actual murder that happened.
Well, and they do come across as almost like crime scene photos. Like it is very, there's a distance there. And I do wonder if part of the reason why, because even when we do see them killing people, there's a lot of broken necks. And I wonder if it's a budgetary concern, because like you've done Halloween makeup. I've done Halloween makeup. It's very, you can cheap and easy make somebody look dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you start getting into the expense of special effects makeup, I feel, is when you have to make them die on screen, like slitting a throat or shooting somebody, like having gunshots erupt from their body. Like that stuff is more expensive. And this might just be an economical way of getting these like many, many killings in without having to actually show somebody being killed. You know what I mean? Having to do gags.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I only counted 4 neck breaks.
Yeah, but out of how many?
Well, but it was 2 in one scene and 2 in another scene.
Right. But like,
it is a significant number of the on-screen deaths.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's easy to do.
Especially in the one where it's all on the VHS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something like that's easy to do, like you don't have to come up with a special rig or, squibs or anything like that in order to just like, they just twist their neck and then they're dead. So I just wonder if that wasn't like a budgetary concern that became an artistic style, stylistic choice. I mean, it benefits the movie, so who cares?
Yeah.
But that's what occurred to me when I was watching and everything. And it's just, it's neat to see. Mm-hmm. Is like Henry is this imposing dark figure almost right away.
Yeah. Well, Michael Rooker's just fucking great.
He's got an intensity to him, man. Like, yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. So, like you said, we see Henry finish eating at a diner and he buys a bag of cigarettes as he pays for it. And as he's leaving, he tells the waitress, "Real nice smile you got there." Yeah. And it comes across as innocuous enough.
Well, and it makes her happy. I mean, he's being
charming.
Yeah.
And it's, as eventually we see is essentially, it's like he's cultivating a certain appearance. Like your better quality of serial killer will do. Yes, so we see people killed. Often there's a variety of techniques on hand, and it's a point that's brought up later in the film. Some people are shot, they're stabbed, they're strangled, different things.
Yeah.
And we see shots of Henry driving around Chicago, just looking for victims, essentially, especially women. As we see him, like he's parked in like a mall parking lot, and he's watching women go to their cars, and he sees a woman go to her car alone. And kind of zeroes in on her and follows her. And when she gets home, a guy comes out and kind of greets her in the driveway, and he's like, "Yep, nope," and just drives off. And it's like, you do not know what you just saved her from.
Well, but he didn't.
Well, eventually, you know.
He delayed it.
He delayed it. If he does go and he finds a hitchhiker carrying a guitar that he picks up, we then cut straight to Otis picking up his little sister Becky from the airport, and we get a couple of things from their conversation. One is that they haven't seen each other for a while. Becky has come there from Texas, where she left behind an abusive husband. And I think we're supposed to see that she has like a black eye, but in watching it with Mel, my wife, I should say, not that anybody listening to this doesn't know who Mel is. Every time that they show, like, it's a sign of the low budget. Every time that they show her, she's like in the airport, she's kind of backlit, so you can't really see her the details of her face. In the car, that side of her face is kind of turned away from the camera the whole time. Like, you just don't see it.
Yeah.
But she's on the run from an abusive husband, essentially. Her daughter is staying with Otis and Becky's mother in Texas. Her plan is to get a job, save up some money, and then hopefully find a home for her and her daughter, Lurleen, who's back home. Otis continually teases throughout the movie. He teases her several times about getting a job dancing naked.
Yeah.
Which is just part of Otis and his, like, leering, gross, perverted creepiness.
Yeah, the Otis charm.
The Otis charm! It's oily. It sticks to your skin.
Yeah, he's a real piece of shit.
He really, really, really is. He's a scumbag of the classic variety.
Yeah.
So then we cut to Otis and Becky at the kitchen table at Otis's horrible apartment. And Henry walks in. He has the guitar from the hitchhiker, which he gives as a gift to Otis. And there's a weird awkward beat as Otis Otis has this energy about him that's almost like, I want to say a little kiddish, but it's not quite that. But he's very he'll just fixate on whatever's in front of him.
Yeah.
And he's hyper indulgent. He just is Otis. And
yeah, he's a buffoon. He
is, but he's just like, because like Henry gives him the guitar and he immediately pulls the guitar out of the case, starts playing with it, and there has to be a moment where Becky and Henry both stare at him, and he's like, well, "Let me introduce you to these two people who've never fucking met each other." And so he intros them to each other, and Otis says that Henry is heading west and just staying on for a little while, and Henry insists that Becky sleep in the spare room, which was his room, and he'll take the couch. She tries to say no, and he's like, "No, I insist," because he's a gentleman.
Yes.
That's the meeting of Henry and Becky. The next day, Becky and Henry are at the table again, and we get a small moment. It's one of these things that, like, you see Otis's kind of patterns. You know what I mean? Like, he asks Becky more coffee. And Becky goes, "Yeah, sure." And so she starts to fill up her cup. And when she does, he immediately picks his cup up and holds it up to her, next to hers. Like, he's kind of tricking her into serving him.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very slick little thing, and it seems innocuous. And with anybody else, it probably would be. But Otis is a schemer.
Yeah. But also dumb as shit.
Yes, and they're not complicated schemes, but he's scheming them. I just noticed it because, especially like the whole idea of getting her to do things for him is very much so part of his kind of pattern of behavior.
Yeah.
When Henry walks in, Becky literally jumps up to offer him coffee. She I think she has a crush on him right away.
Yeah, she senses what a terrible person he is, and she's immediately attracted to it.
Yeah, I feel like there's great violence within you. I want it as close to me as possible.
Yeah. I can fix you.
Or you could just beat the shit out of me. Whichever works for you.
Whatever.
Henry, however, does not have time for coffee as he has work. We then see Henry spraying a kitchen for bugs. doing work as an exterminator. And then we catch him walking outside, talking to the man who we presume is his boss. And he's explaining like, hey, he doesn't have a lot of work, but some will pop up or whatever. And apparently, he likes Henry or whatever. He's like, not only does he pay him for the day, but he gives him a retainer fee.
Yeah.
And then when Henry says, hey, you want your bug shit back, he's like, yeah, hang on to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Trusts him and everything.
And immediately
goes and uses this prop to get into the house of the woman that he followed at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
And uses it. We don't hear the conversation because it's from a distance, but we see him gain entry to the house. And the next thing we cut to is her dead on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Cigarette
with that background, you can kind of hear some horrible interaction happening.
Exactly. And again, it's interesting to see. There is a conscious effort he's making to vary his style of murder. She's been strangled this time.
Mm-hmm.
Has cigarette burns on her body and face and stuff. Audio tone, talked about that. I went nuts talking about the audio tone here. It gives these shots an ethereal, otherworldly feel, darkly sacred and tremendously impactful. I'm such a good writer, but that's the way it is. This is it's his evil church. You know what I mean? It's a compulsion beyond reason for Henry.
Mm-hmm.
And that is for certain. We then cut to Otis working as the worst gas station attendant of all time. The woman asks him to check the tire. He literally pokes it once with a pencil and says, "You're good." And then
that might have even been a tire pressure gauge in his hand, but he doesn't attach it to anything. He just holds it next to the tire. It's like,
yeah, that's a tire. No fucks given.
Not one.
So a teenager pulls up in a very expensive looking car, and he's buying drugs from Otis. That's the bottom line here. Otis says, he essentially, and Otis overcomplicates the entire interaction, just being Otis, not in a simple way, but actually in a malicious way.
I felt like it was, Otis is not smart, but he did know that he had the power in that interaction.
Yes.
As long as he didn't care if the kid walked away.
Right.
Because that's what he ends up holding over him. The kid's a dick. I mean, the kid's an asshole to him, basically acting like he's better than him. And Otis uses the fact that, okay, but I'm not going to get your weed for you.
Right.
I mean, that's...
But how much of that is born out of a genuine thing, and how much it is Otis has been a dick to him the entire time because that's kind of how Otis is?
Probably, but go find a different weed dealer, man. You're in Chicago.
That's a valid point, actually.
Just stop dealing with that guy.
Yeah, but not everybody, his weed has that Otis stank on it. It's so extra.
Yeah, that Otis stank you pay extra for. Until you find out where it came from.
The smoke hits the ground. It falls.
Hey, this is the late 80s in Chicago. That means Billy Corgan was around somewhere, and he knew where the good weed was. So Billy Corgan's dad was dealing drugs back then, I think.
Oh my God. So essentially, Otis makes a deal with him. He takes the money now, and he'll get him the weed tomorrow evening or whatever. Meet him at the base of the football field, whatever. It's just clear that the two, the kid does not like Otis, and Otis enjoys making him interact with him.
I think that was it. I think Otis started being difficult when he said, "I'll bring it to the field," and the kid said, "No, I don't want you hanging around there. I don't want people to see you."
Right.
The moment the kid was like, "You're an embarrassment,"
yes.
Otis is like, "I'm gonna be a dick to you now."
Well, that's valid.
That's
valid. So
Otis is an embarrassment. I don't want Otis hanging around the football field either, but
well, I mean, you say the kid acts like he's better than him. He is.
He is better than him. It's a fact.
He's not wrong.
It's just that you can't
rude
act
to act
like
that
it
way.
if you want something. Sometimes honesty is rude.
Sometimes. We cut to Becky. It's a great shot. It's a close up of Becky cleaning a fish, de-gutting it and stuff. Which is a tremendous visual for the movie. as she's doing so, she talks to Otis as casually as possible about Henry, asking him how he met him and such. And Otis reveals that they were friends in prison together.
Yes.
And that Henry killed his mother.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he ended up in prison. He tells her that Henry bashed her head in with a baseball bat. But he makes her.
It's kind of a neat little moment thinking about it now, because she says, "What did he do? Kill his mom?" And then lists a couple other things. He's all like, "No, he had it right the first time."
Yeah.
But then she doesn't believe him because Otis fucks around.
Because he's fucking Otis. You can't believe anything he says. He's a dick.
And so he tells her, but he doesn't care if she believes him. It's more fun for him, honestly, if it's ambiguous. Like,
right. The one thing that isn't is he makes her swear to him that she will not tell Henry that he told her that. Like, he is in fear of Henry.
Yeah, and I think she waits all of 37 seconds to go tell Henry.
After they have dinner and everything, Otis leaves to go and do Otis shit somewhere else.
Yeah, I think he's going to get the drugs for that kid. I think that's the errand he's got to run.
And Henry and Becky play cards, and she immediately kind of launches into this whole thing. She cages him in intense conversation mode, kind of right off the bat. I think
she just dumps her story on him.
Exactly. Like, she goes right into like, "Hey, did you get along with your dad? Because my dad used to sexually assault me.
Yeah.
And if I resisted, he beat me.
Yeah.
And my mother didn't care. She turned a blind eye. The mother that's watching her daughter, by the way.
Fuck. I don't know how I hadn't.
Well, this is the thing about this movie is like, it is interesting and true to life, where there is a dichotomy when you're dealing with family, where it's like, society tells you you love them and they're part of your life, and you don't question that, even when they do horrible things to you, like even when they're traumatizing you. Like, in all fairness, in any sane universe, Becky, the last person Becky would go to after being beaten by her husband, is her piece of shit brother Otis.
But again, maybe not again, but what are her options? These may be the only people in her life willing to give her a bed to sleep in. I mean,
this is true.
Her mom may be the only person that can watch her kid for an extended period while she gets on her feet.
I absolutely.
And assuming her dad's dead or out of the picture, like that's the thing. Like, if that dad is there in that house, then
that's a problem.
Then she's a piece of shit for putting her kid there.
But I'm not saying like that. I'm saying like she, even within that conversation she has with him, she talks about how she, tried to be kind to her dad and tried to and everything. And it's like that's the dichotomy I'm talking about. Like, you can have this completely traumatic, fucked up relationship, and they're still your father. Yeah. To a degree. You know what I mean? You're still trying to reach for that normalcy.
But were you about to get to the funniest part of this scene? I know it doesn't sound like there should be funny in this scene for everybody that hasn't watched the movie yet. But no, she dumps this whole thing,
trauma dumps, and then,
like, about her father sexually assaulting her and all this horrible shit.
Right.
And then says, so that's why I think I married that piece of shit. I had to get away from my dad. And Henry's like, "So you didn't get along with your dad then?" Like, he just didn't even process.
He's like, yeah, that's what happens to people. And then she takes it casually in stride, like, we got along okay.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that's how people talk in this universe.
I guess so.
He then gets into his history, because she's like, "So Otis tells me you killed your mom."
Mm-hmm.
Also, great casual conversation. And Henry is a little perturbed at Otis telling her that, but ultimately, like, he talks about how his mother was a whore, a prostitute, and she used to make him watch her service men and stuff.
He makes the distinction that he doesn't care that she was a whore, that he's not judging that.
Right. We don't judge people in this house. Yes. No kink shame.
We don't judge whoring. It was the forcing him to watch dressed as a girl and then laughing at him that
it is such a weird thing. And it's the kind of like peculiar particulars of child abuse that you hear from like your more fucked up serial killers. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like, she did what now? You know what I mean? Like, it sounds complicated. How did you get to that?
Well, but these two people are so deeply fucked up that are talking in this scene that, she dumps all that stuff and he barely registers the horrible things. Like, so you didn't get along with your dad, huh? And then he tells this story where his mother prostitutes herself in the house with his crippled father.
Right.
Who's had his legs with off for some reason. I'm guessing truck wreck or diabetes, something.
Right.
His father's crippled, can't do anything about it. She doesn't care. She's prostituting in the house with his full knowledge, whether he likes it or not. And she's making him watch it and dressing him up like a girl. And that's what she jumps on. She's like, she made you wear a dress?
And he's like, yeah, I'm not lying. Like
I thought I was following it all the way through the prostituting and forcing you to watch and laughing at you. But she made you wear a dress.
Oh, man, that's weird.
That is fucked up, Henry.
And then he says that so then one time he got a gun and he shot her and he killed her. And she's like, wait, he said that you beat her to death. And he's like, well, he got it wrong.
Well, no, Otis said he beat her to death. When he first starts, before he gives all the details about his mom, he says he stabbed her.
Right.
And she says,
oh, yeah. She's like,
Otis said you beat her to death. He's like, well, Otis got it wrong. And then he tells the story, and at the end of it, he shot her.
Right.
So it's the third death
she's
of his
like,
mother.
I thought you said you stabbed her. He's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a sign that, like, every time that he kills a woman, he is killing his mother.
Yeah. And he's done it so much that he's mixed up all
He's gone. Yeah. It's just a sign of how deep it runs. We get a montage of Becky going out and searching for a job. Finally, she ends up in a beauty parlor, which she has experience working at. And the next night after dinner, Becky tells Otis and Henry that she got a job as a shampoo girl. That she then has to explain to Otis what a shampoo girl is. And I thought it was all in the name. Apparently not. Otis takes a while to understand.
She could have been manufacturing shampoo. She could have been selling shampoo.
She could have been me that people go and get their
advertising shampoo. She could have been delivering shampoo to retail outlets.
That's crazy talk. I'd never have a woman wash my hair.
Otis didn't have enough hair to worry about, and I know what I'm talking about.
So she explains it to him, and Otis straight up doesn't understand what a shampoo girl is. And then he asks her again in his creepy, leery way about dancing naked. And Becky has to explain to Henry that she did dance in a club at one point, and it was not wearing a great many clothes, but she was not naked.
Yeah, maybe more a cabaret than strip club.
Otis, and so then this is the progression of the Otis game.
Creepy Otis shit, yeah.
Excuse me. And Otis asks Becky to get him a beer. He is literally closer to the refrigerator than she is.
Is this after she's tried on the T-shirt, the I Heart Chicago?
Yeah, it is. That's what happens. Yeah, she gets an I Heart Chicago shirt.
And she has to make them look away, and she especially has to make Otis not look while she changes his shirt.
She has to, he tries to look while she's halfway through. Yeah. And she's like, turn the fuck around.
And we also discover in this scene that Henry doesn't know how to read. He's looking straight at the shirt and says, "What does it say?"
He's Henry, man. I don't have an explanation for you. Well,
I liked it because there's zero shame either. There's no fear of judgment. He's just like, "What's it say on there?"
Oh, looks nice, I guess.
And nobody makes a mention of it either. Like these are poor people that grew up in poor places and didn't get any education, had fucked up childhoods, and nobody's surprised when an adult can't read in that environment. Right. You know,
her only job is to wash other women's hair. Like that's what you do. So Otis asks Becky to get him a beer. And when she's like, "No, I'm not doing that." He begs and pleads with her.
Yeah.
He's very pathetic about it.
But also kind of joking, like, "Oh, take care of your poor brother," kind of a thing.
So when she finally agrees to it, just more to shut him up than anything else, when she goes to hand the beer to him, he grabs the hand and pulls it closer and tries to kiss her.
Mm-hmm.
Which Henry snaps into action and grabs the back of Otis's head. And it's just like, "You don't do that with her. That is your sister." And he makes Otis apologize and promise to never do it again.
Yeah, and Otis looks a little bit fussy about it. He looks like he's mad at Henry.
Yeah, it definitely irritates him to be because he wants to, he wants that power. He wants to be in charge of the situation.
Yeah.
To have it kind of to be reminded, like, no, Henry's the one in charge. You only get to hold court because he lets you.
But I thought it was interesting too, though, that you kind of get this sense that Otis is like harboring resentment now.
Right.
Until the next big event happens that really opens his eyes to what Henry is.
Right. But
because at this point, he knows Henry's the alpha, for lack of a better word here.
Right. He's the dangerous one.
But he's not necessarily frightening. He's just superior.
Right.
He's higher in the ranking or whatever. Yeah. He's stronger, faster, but not necessarily as dangerous as he turns out to be.
Well, and Otis is the kind of slimy jerk that, like, without that, what we're going to see and everything, he's the kind of guy that would wait for a moment when Henry was vulnerable and then
I think that's
back.
That's, I think, what I was trying to get at. There is in this moment some sense that maybe Otis would try to retaliate.
Right.
But full fucking stop to that here shortly.
Yes. So, because after that moment, there's kind of an awkward moment, and Becky's like, to kind of ease the situation, is like, hey, I'll take care of the dishes. I don't mind. Why don't you guys go out and get a beer? Which is code for prostitute. And and eventually they agree to. Otis going out and putting on, like, the ugliest shirt I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It is truly, like, I don't know why Otis owns that shirt. It's this bright blue patterned shirt.
It's his party shirt.
It is his party shirt that he wears when he parties. It is so not Otis and so not anyone, because it should have been burned in a fire.
He saw somebody in a movie somewhere where something kind of like that, and then he found that at Goodwill and was like, yeah, it's exactly that, and it will make me look like that person I like.
Right. It feels aspirational. It feels aspirational. Like, he got it and he was like, maybe I could be this person. And then he put it on and people were like, Otis in the funny shirt. And he's like, it's
his Saturday Night Fever shirt.
Yeah, a single tear rolls down his cheek. So Henry and Otis drive along, eventually picking up a couple of sex workers, like you do, and then they stop off in an alley for sexing. And as the camera kind of pulls in to the car, with listening to their various sex noises, we hear Henry getting progressively rougher with his prostitute. Until eventually he just breaks her neck.
Yes. And then the other prostitute starts to freak out.
Yeah, because he just murdered somebody in front of them.
Yeah.
And
she's clearly new to the game. You got to keep your cool.
There's going to be a couple of dead whores, man.
There's going to be some dead whores.
And
if you freak out, you're going to be one of them.
Saturday night in Chicago, baby.
What you going to do?
What are you going to do? Stop with the killing of the horse?
No.
Come on.
No.
Chicago. Let's get some deep dish.
Yeah. Kill some horse.
So she gets out. She tries to get out of the car, run away and everything. Henry leaps to action and grabs her and breaks her neck. He drags both women's bodies to like a corner, dumps them behind some garbage. And then goes to get in the car. Otis is in the driver's seat.
Freaking the fuck out.
He is. He's shell shocked. He has to make Otis get out and get in the passenger seat so he can drive, because Otis is just like, he's in total, like, blue screen, like locked up and unable to do anything.
Yeah.
As they drive, Otis starts to spiral. Like, what's going to happen when they find those bodies? They're going to come and get us. What have you done? The whole shebang. And Henry is just a cool customer, man. He is like, I don't know anything about what happened in there.
It's like nothing's going to happen because nothing happened.
Nothing happened. I don't know anything, and neither do you.
Do you know anything?
Otis, let's go get some food. They get some food. Otis starts to loosen up a little bit and everything. And it's just this Otis realizing what Henry is and the degree to which he should be afraid of him.
Yeah. I mean, up to this point, he thought that probably, criminally speaking, at least, they were on the same
level. Yeah.
Level, they were in prison together. Petty criminals, probably, at this point. I mean,
sure.
But violent. I mean, violent criminals, sure. But not.
But, like, Otis was fully ready to just, like, not pay a hooker and drive away laughing.
Yeah.
Murdering one was not on the table for him that night. And Henry did so compulsively, like with no control. So not only is he learning to fear Henry, he's also learning the freedom that comes with being Henry.
Yeah. In fact, the most dramatic character arc in this movie is Otis,
for sure,
freeing himself up to be the horrible person that he really knows he can be.
And that's only through Henry's actions. Henry is guiding him on how to be a killer.
Yeah, he's giving him first person instruction.
Yes, it's interesting to watch because it's the tidbits that he feeds him are what Henry thinks are the important parts of it.
Yeah.
And he completely like glosses over like possessing the compulsion to murder. Because that's a given.
Otis does Otis has it in him. He
does, but it's not the same as Henry. Henry is compelled to kill because he wants to kill because his mother is laughing at him. You know what I mean? Like,
well, but Otis grew up in the same house his sister did, so he's got his fucked up shit too.
Absolutely, but it's not the same variety. He's certainly a rapist. He's certainly a vicious. He doesn't like. They have this conversation where he's talking to him back at the apartment, and Otis is kind of like, and Henry's like, "You've killed people before, right?"
Yeah.
And Henry's like, "You killed people before, right?" And Otis is like, "Yeah, because I had to."
Right.
Like it's he has a problem killing if his life is in danger,
right,
or whatever.
Like I imagine though when he says I had to, it's because he got into a bar fight that went too far. You know, it's not because he was at war.
No, it's because he put himself in a situation where he had to. He engineered a situation where he would have to.
Well, but I think if nothing else, you know, the main thing that's holding him back from being probably more like a serial rapist than serial killer, except that he starts killing with Henry, is fear of consequences. And that's what Henry doesn't have.
Yes.
Henry, for all of his, you know, low IQ, whatever, he's figured out how the system works and how to murder freely without worrying about it.
Yeah, no, he can circumvent the system. And he starts teaching Otis how to do so. And that's what Otis really needs in order to be like a full-on, you know, kid in the candy store maniac.
Yeah.
He is Augustus drinking from the chocolate river. You know, and Henry is giving him permission to indulge that part of him. And he's taking all that he can get. But they have this, and Henry gives him his, like, they have this conversation and Henry gives him his philosophy of like, it's you versus them. It's you or them. And Otis is like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, it's always you or them. You know, you know how it is. It's you or them. Yeah. It is. And
every time you're in a room with another human being, one of you has to die.
Thunderdome, baby. 2 go in, 1 comes out.
That's right.
And Otis absolutely does not know what he's talking about.
No.
But he agrees anyway because Henry's terrifying.
Yeah.
And the intensity with which Henry says it is terrifying. It's a very interesting conversation because we see the dichotomy between them and we see how the different kinds of lunatic they both are.
Right.
And so in that way, Otis is kind of using Henry. And in the same way, Henry is kind of using Otis because it's his one chance to kind of share his world with somebody.
Well, yeah, it makes him the expert. He's right. It makes what he does valuable to someone.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, they're both just sort of validating each other, you know?
Right. But it is also an assumption that he had that Otis is exactly like him.
Well, and the problem with that is that Otis's compulsions and violent urges are sexual. And that while yet like sex is definitely a factor in Henry's thing.
Right.
It's not how he wants to be violent, you know, like
Otis's goals are sexual. Henry's goals are violence.
Yeah. Henry wants to murder people. But you never see him take advantage sexually during, you know, like, it appears that there's sexual aspects to some of the murders because of how they're left, but you don't know whether or not it started out consensual and it triggered him.
Right. And it's also like, it might just be him doing, like he says, eventually he talks about mixing up the MO.
Yeah.
Like he might just be doing that just for the sake of throwing people off of his scent.
Yeah.
But it is like a thing where like for Otis, violence is just a means to obtain sex. For Henry, the violence is the sex in
Yeah.
that kind of fucked up serial killer way. It's all very interesting, and it's all like tremendous like psychological insight for a like a low budget horror
Yeah.
movie like this. We go to Otis watching TV, just watching TV, and the machine, the TV is kind of on the fritz. And he gets increasingly frustrated as he goes on. Like, he's trying to play with the knobs or whatever, and then he's smacking it, and eventually he kicks it and breaks the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Henry walks in and sees that Otis broke the TV, and Otis is like, well, I gotta have a TV. And so Henry's like, well, let's go shopping.
Yeah.
So they go to your local black market spot, you know? It's just like Best Buy.
Fell off the back of a truck store.
Right. It's just like Best Buy, except it's run by a weird fat guy.
Yeah.
So it's exactly like Best Buy.
It's just like Best Buy. Except when you walk in, you get insulted instead of asked if you're having a good day.
He is very belligerent. The guy who works there, runs it.
And
I don't know what you call him.
He at the end of the interaction tries to get them to give him the $50 and leave. Like,
yeah, he's
well,
very...
no, just give me your money.
Yeah,
and don't get anything in return for it because you wasted my time.
They come in and they're looking for a TV. He's like, how much money do you got? And they have $50, and he's like, you can take that TV for $50. And they don't want that TV because it's black and white. They want color. And he's like, well, you can't get color for $50 here.
Yeah.
And they kind of go back and forth. It's a tete-a-tete, as they say. He describes to them the camcorder, which is, it's a camera and a video recorder in one device, Chris. It's very, I'll explain it.
Edge.
I'll explain it again because I don't think
you
you
slow
got
it down this time.
So they're like, well, we have $50, and he's like, well, why are you having me tell you about the camcorder?
Yeah.
And except he's much like nastier about it. And
he gets really upset that they wasted 30 whole seconds of his time.
Right.
Like, I showed you all of this stuff and you only have $50.
You showed them 3 things. And one of them was the $50 black and white television.
Yeah.
So they kill him.
Of course. But they almost just eat that shit and walk away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the guy just keeps pushing, and then you just sort of see Henry like, okay, I guess you don't get to fucking walk out of here today, dude.
We're not doing
with a soldering iron. He stabs the dude.
He stabs him with a soldering iron, and then they slam a TV on his head and plug it in. The black and white TV, it should be noted. And then we cut straight to the video footage from the camcorder.
Yeah, they're partying with it now.
They're partying with it, and eventually Becky is dancing with Henry, and then she kisses him a couple times.
Yeah.
Which Otis, filming them, just keeps calling for more in the creepiest way possible, because he's Otis. Otis got a Otis.
But it's making Henry uncomfortable.
Yes. It makes us all uncomfortable.
It makes us all uncomfortable.
In that moment, we are all Henry. So we see Otis visiting his parole officer, and it's a joke because this guy's dealing drugs, he's killing people, he's visiting prostitutes. His parole officer is like, are you working at the gas station? Are you working 5 days? Well, if they drop you down to 2 days, let me know. We'll find you another place to work. I gotta go. My kid's getting like braces put in or whatever. And that's it. That's his whole parole officer meeting.
Yep.
So then he let's see here. Otis meets with the teenager from before to sell him the drugs.
Yep.
As one will. And when he offers to smoke him up. And when the boy agrees, he goes ahead and grabs the kid's thigh. Because Otis got a Otis, man. What did you expect? You spent more than 30 seconds in his presence. What did you think was going to happen?
I mean, he's been to prison. He's known the love of a man.
Exactly. And he's very young and probably mostly hairless, so it's fine.
Probably.
But the kid elbows him in the nose, gives him a good smack, takes his drugs and runs. And Otis at home is tending to his wounds and really pissed off, and he talks about how he wants to kill that kid, and Henry just like appears behind him and is like, that's not smart. People have seen you with him. People are going to know. If you kill him, they're going to know. Because, and it's really like Otis is sitting there just talking shit because Otis is a great shit talker.
Yeah.
Henry takes him immediately at his word that he wants to murder somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, Otis was never going to do shit about it.
He was just going to bitch about it, and then next time not sell him drugs.
Yeah, or piss in his weed or something. Like,
right.
Yeah, sell him a bag full of oregano. But yeah, but Henry takes it so seriously right away and turns it into, so you do want to kill somebody though, don't you? Like,
so he's like, okay, come with me. I'm going to show you what we do. And they drive to like an underpass, pull the car over, pretend like they're broken down. Henry produces a gun. And he's just like, I can get you a gun. It's not a big deal. Everybody can get a gun.
Make a phone call, get a gun.
Right. It's easy. And when a motorist stops to check on them and provide assistance, he lets Otis shoot him. And then they laugh about it and get in their car and drive away. There you go. You feel better?
Yeah, and this is when he starts really giving him lessons in murder.
Right, he starts
changing up your MO.
Yeah, he starts telling him about like, hey, I always do it differently. You never do it the same way twice. Sometimes you cut them up. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you dump them in the woods. Sometimes you just leave them where they are.
Yeah, what cops like is a pattern because it makes their job easy.
Right, so you don't give them the pattern. That way they never know. And you stay on the fucking move.
Yeah, and he says, so why can't we use the gun? He's like, you can use a gun. Just don't use the same gun.
Duh. What did I just say?
Use different guns. Just don't keep using the same gun.
Right. Nothing that'll connect the murders. Which is also this is how Henry has gotten this far, and he has done it to great success. He murders
and keep moving is the main advice. Moving
is the thing.
Keep moving.
We cut to camcorder footage, and it's Henry is filming Otis, and they're in this home invasion.
Yeah.
Otis has a woman struggling in his arms, and he's giddily molesting her. We then hear her, presumably the husband, hogtied on the floor, and gagged, and he kind of protests a bit too much, so Henry beats him a little bit, which is when the teenage boy walks in.
Yeah.
And Henry has to run and grab him, tackle him, and drag him to the floor.
Kid puts up a fight.
He does put up a fight, but it's not good enough because Henry snaps his neck.
Yeah.
And it's horrible stuff. Like he's snapping this kid's neck in front of his parents, presumably.
Yeah.
In the middle of his mother's like sexual assault.
Right.
At that point, Otis snaps the woman's neck.
Well, but he's like, "Hey, Henry, watch this! Like, it's a real. You'll be so proud of me. Like,
it's very
what I can do.
I'm
good, just like Dad.
Yeah, it's a real childish energy that Otis has. Like, and it's very it's just like childish indulgence type of thing where he's like, I get to kill too. Watch.
Yeah,
and it's just taking things too far. So he kills her. Henry goes and pulls out his knife and kills the guy on the floor.
Yeah.
And as Otis starts to assault the dead woman's body in earnest.
Yeah.
And Henry just makes him stop and says, "Come on, we got to go right now. Stop right now, and we're leaving."
Yeah. Again, when Otis tries to get sexual with it, Henry's not having it.
He's not interested.
But as far as like the way this scene is shot, it's grainy ass VHS.
Yes.
And the camera is motionless. It's been put on set down somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's a completely locked down shot of all of this happening in this family's living room, and it's
intense.
Yeah, it's very snuff filmy.
Well, I mean, hey, we've seen home invasion movies before and stuff like that. Like just them attacking this family and ending with them murdering all of them in rapid succession. That could be a whole movie in and of itself. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what because we just watched You're Next recently. We'd seen it before, but we rewatched it recently. Speaking of home invasion movies, one of the best.
Good stuff. Yes. So the scene kind of ends, and then it is rewound, and that is when we find out that we are watching Otis and Henry watch the tape of the murder. And as Otis rewinds it, Henry's like, "What are you doing?" And Otis is like, "I want to watch it again." And this is another interesting thing about Henry, is that Henry is the rare serial killer who does not collect mementos from his kills
or return to them. He does not live in the past at all.
No.
But I think it's kind of because of the way he's a killer.
Yeah.
The killing is what's important, so there's no real ritual beyond doing the killing.
Right. Ending a life.
Yeah. He's not one of these guys that has to do it the same way every time. He's not somebody that has to keep something. And he does it so often that it's not like he has to go back to something to hold him over. He doesn't need to be held over. He's just going to go
and do it again.
When he gets the urge, he's just going to kill somebody again.
But see, and that's the thing is that, like, killers that do keep mementos and stuff, like, that's why they keep mementos, is so that they can be held over until the next time they get the opportunity.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that problem. He just doesn't stop.
Yeah. Why fuck around?
All right. Let's do what we're here to do. Yeah, and when Otis plays it again, he starts to play it in slow-mo, kind of frame by frame. It's nasty stuff. We see Becky working at the beauty parlor. She's shampooing the hair of a woman who is she's just on the verge of some really great, like, full racist ranting before a phone call comes in and she's called away. Becky takes a phone call from her mother and she talks to her daughter on the phone. It's just a cute little moment with on the phone with her mom and her daughter. We then cut back to Henry and Otis driving around, and Otis is playing with the camera, filming pedestrians and stuff. And he leans too far out of the car and whacks against something, and they break the camera. He's lucky he didn't fucking break his head.
Yeah.
That girl died like that in Hereditary.
That's true.
And Otis,
but she was small and weak.
That's right. Not like Otis. He big,
not like Otis.
He can eat as much peanut butter as he won't. It's so stupid. So Otis and Henry kind of bicker over the broken camera because, Otis broke his toy. And Henry's and he immediately
Otis is blaming Henry.
Yeah, and Henry's like, "You're the one that's hanging out the window, jackass."
Yeah,
and then Otis just takes the whole camera and just throws it out the window. And Henry's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, maybe we could have fixed it."
Yeah,
and Otis is like, "How are you gonna fix it? You don't know how to fix cameras." And Henry's like, "Well, we'll never know now because you threw it out the window."
Yep.
Classic.
And somehow that wins the whole thing because then Otis is like, "Well, you didn't tell me you could fix it."
It's a very short argument, but I can tell they really love each other.
Yes.
It's a weird little
deep down.
I think there is some indication that these two, like, Henry is kind of tired of Otis's childish overindulgence, and Otis is kind of tired of Henry calling all the shots. Like, he's starting to feel a little big in his britches, and Henry's kind of tired of him feeling big in his britches.
Well, and, Otis's arc here is that he's being unleashed. Like, he's...
Right.
The things that were restraining him from doing the truly awful shit he would want to do, Henry has simultaneously, like, shown him a path away from those restrictions.
Right.
While imposing new ones.
Right.
And he's resenting any control at this point.
He's still chafing at his collar.
Yeah.
Only this time the collar is Henry, so
yeah.
It's if he can get rid of him. Otis says he wants a beer. The petulant child. I want candy. I want chocolate Captain Crunch. And Henry just stops the car in the middle of the road and is like, "Well, go out and get a beer. Get out of the fucking car." And makes Otis get out of the car and drives off without him. So when Henry gets back to the apartment alone, Becky is there and she tells him that she quit her job, and she tells him her ex-husband is now in jail. And so she's going to go back to Texas, and she's going to live with her mom and her daughter, and she wants Henry to come with her.
Yeah.
Because she is in love with him.
Of course.
And Henry's like, "Well, let me take you out for like a nice dinner. I just got a credit card."
Yeah,
wonder where. And we'll talk about it more, kind of pushing her off. That's another interesting thing about Henry is it's like there is a kind of part of him that wants to be happy with Becky, I feel like. And there's another part of him that knows that that's absolutely impossible and is kind of happy with the situation he already has. And so he's kind of in odds of what he actually wants to do.
He's fond of her.
He is, in his Henry way.
Right.
He likes that she likes him, I think.
Yeah.
So they go out to dinner. When they come back, she kind of stops at the bathroom or whatever. Henry comes in the living room and finds Otis passed out on the couch with the tape from their home invasion, like still like slow motion playing on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of like, shakes his head at him, and he takes the tape and he pockets it. And before Becky can come in the room, and then when Becky comes in, he's like, "Hey," she's passed out. And she said, and Becky's like, "You come with me into my room."
Yeah.
And she tries to have sex with him. She's he's just like gently resisting the entire time. It's really
it's just kind of like he just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah,
like,
and he
feels like he's just so awkward.
Right, and he doesn't want to, but he also knows that he shouldn't not want to.
Yeah, he doesn't want her to think he's weird or wrong somehow.
Right. So she brings him in to her room, to the room. She kisses him. She unzips his coat and takes it off of him, like pushes it off his shoulders. He immediately like pulls it back onto his shoulders kind of gently. And then she takes his shirt off and they kiss some more. And that's when Otis appears in the doorway. And he's kind of Otis, about the whole thing.
Did I interrupt something?
Don't stop on my account. And he's gross. And and Henry takes the opportunity to be like, "Do you have cigarettes? I need cigarettes. I'm gonna go get cigarettes."
Yeah.
And immediately leaves the room. It just leaves the apartment. And it's not a long interlude while he is outside of the apartment. We follow him the whole way. He like leaves. He walks down the street. He passes like the gas station. He gets to the convenience store. He buys cigarettes. The clerk kind of pisses him off a little bit, and his dander is up when he's like, "Oh, you want cools? Do you want what kind of cools? Like regulars, 100s, ultra, menthol? What the fuck do you want, man?"
Yeah.
Trying to sell you some cigarettes. And
which is honestly kind of funny. Like, I don't think it was at all meant this way, but I always think it's weird in a movie where somebody just walks in and is like, "I'll have a beer. I'll have a pack of cigarettes."
The very first time,
this is the opposite of that.
The very first time I went into a bar, I did that. I went into a bar and asked for a beer. I swear to God. And the bartender was like, "What kind of beer, asshole?" And he was right to do so. I was wrong.
You needed to feel that shame.
I needed to. And
for your development.
Exactly. Now I know what I'm getting before I get to that fucking bartender.
Goddamn right.
But anyway, so he buys the cigarettes. He's walking back. He passes like an alleyway, and he sees a woman walking her dog.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of stops and talks to her about her dog, like, "Hey, what kind of dog you got?" And it's a mutt and stuff like this. They have a little conversation, and then she walks on. And he follows her a little bit, and then he watches her walk off, and then he's like, "Nah," and he walks back to the apartment. Goes back into the apartment. I mean, like, how long was he gone in realistic terms of the course of this movie? Like 10 minutes?
Maybe 20?
Right. Otis is just full on sexually, like, raping his sister on the living room floor. And quickly goes from that to strangling her.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just like we don't need to see the progression. We get it. Otis is a scumbag.
Yeah.
He's wanted to bang his sister since she showed up because she is a female and he is Otis. And it's wrong. And Henry sees this, comes in and just kicks Otis off of her.
Yeah. Starts beating on him. Otis grabs an empty bottle and smashes it against Henry's head. Mm-hmm.
Starts
Gets
threatening.
the upper hand.
Yeah, starts threatening him with the broken bottle. And that's when Becky grabs a metal rat-tooth comb and stabs Otis's eye out.
He does not enjoy that.
He does not. He screams and squeals and
probably the most realistic response to getting stabbed in the eye that I've seen in a movie. Honestly,
it's intense. It's a lot. He's just like, he does not shut the fuck up.
No,
I mean, and Henry recovers and grabs the comb from Becky and
finishes the job.
Stabs Otis in the chest. And Becky freaks out a little bit and is like, "Oh, we got to call the cops."
No. That's a bad idea.
Not with Henry around. She cleans up the blood while Henry takes his body into the bathroom and chops it up, put him in little garbage bags, easy to carry.
Yeah.
And
almost like he's done this before.
The funniest thing. And then they load some suspiciously lumpy suitcases into the car. They drive the fuck away.
Yeah.
Otis's name is the only one that's on the lease. Because as Otis explained at the beginning when Becky came in, like Henry is just on his way west. He's just staying there for a period of time.
Yeah.
Becky is just staying there for a period of time. Otis's name is the only one on the lease, so there's no concern.
Yeah. The drug dealing parolee gas station attendant going missing isn't really.
Nobody's going to really care.
No. Not in a major metropolitan area.
No. So they, under the cover of night, they stop on a bridge, and Henry gets out and dumps his lumpy plastic bags over into the river below. Mm-hmm. And that is the end of Otis. And it's probably a better one than he deserved.
It really is.
So as they drive, Henry tells Becky, like, my sister has a ranch in California. We can live there, and then we'll send for Lurleen, and it'll be cool. And she tells him that she loves him, and he says, well, then I guess I love you too.
Yeah.
So they get a cheap motel, and we get a really cool shot of Henry just staring at himself in the bathroom mirror.
I mean, this was like most of the movie posters was this shot.
Yes.
Like the cover of the VHS, I think, is this shot of Henry in the mirror. And, it's a real iconic Michael Rooker image.
With like a complete like dead face expression, like while she plucks away at the guitar on the bed, the guitar that he took from a dead hitchhiker.
Yes.
And
she comments on how nice the guitar is.
Yes. And he tells her we got to turn in because we got a long drive ahead. We then cut to the next day, and Henry leaves the motel alone with a very heavy suitcase.
Yeah. But we don't see the suitcase. We see him shave and get in the car.
Okay, yes.
And drive away.
He drives away.
The suitcase has already been loaded.
Right. He stops by the side of the road, pulls out the suitcase and dumps it, and we see that it's her suitcase streaked with blood.
Yeah.
You could take
the faint sounds of violence in the background again.
Yes, it's the pattern all over again. Like you can't take the kill. You can't separate the man from the killer.
No.
And that's the end of the movie. He drives away into the whatever.
Yeah.
And that's how it ends.
Yeah.
Super dark. Super interesting.
Dark. Apparently, Michael Rooker stayed more or less in character throughout filming.
Wow.
And it was so intense that his wife waited till they were done with the movie to tell him she was pregnant. Like she won. I mean,
Jesus Christ.
Not because she was scared of him, but I think honestly probably because she didn't want to mess with his process, his performance.
Probably.
I mean, he clearly felt that was important for his performance to do that, and I don't know. Method people are. Yeah, you've got method that's like I've heard Matt Damon talk about Christian Bale being method in Ford v Ferrari.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, but it's not like he thinks he's that guy. What it is that he stays in that kind of mode because it's easier than turning it on and turning it off.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, he goes to Christian Bale's house. He's got to come back to work the next day. His name's on a call sheet. He's not. He hasn't forgotten that he is Christian Bale. He's just keeping the accent and everything going because. But then you've got what's his name from Last of the Mohicans that apparently when he was doing My Left Foot made people carry him around and
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis, brilliant actor, but pain in the ass from the sound of it.
Right. Who Paul F. Tompkins said because Paul F. Tompkins has a very very small part in There Will Be Blood, and he says that you may have heard that Daniel Day-Lewis is an intense actor. He is not. He is the most intense actor.
Yes.
Whenever he was on set, it was like there was a live tiger on set. It's also, I also think of, when you think of method, I think of Ian McKellen's turn in the Ricky Gervais series Extras, where so many actors play enhanced versions of themselves, and he talks about how he played Gandalf, and he says, he pretends like he's Gandalf. And Ian McKellen, action! You shall not pass! Cut! Ian McKellen. I do have something other than quoting stuff. I did sort of meet Michael Rooker once.
Really?
It was at a horror convention. I think The Walking Dead had just finished their first or second season, which was when they were like not even like huge, but like still like rising meteorically.
Oh yeah, I mean they were big pretty quick,
right? So it was big days for them, and there was a Walking Dead panel, and they had several of the stars there. That's when I scared the shit out of Chandler, who played Carl in the show. Scared him in an elevator by telling him that he's doing a great job. He was just a kid, and he was trying to not get, recognized, and I recognized him. And I was like, you're not getting away from me. Great job. And the elevator doors closed. So Michael Rooker was there, and we're driving to go get breakfast the one day, and there was maybe 8 people in our car. Like, it was the sort of thing where we're young and stupid. So there's like 4 people where there are 3 seats in the back seat and 1 person laying across them. That's how full it was. And the parking lot is packed, and we're driving to go to this breakfast spot. And who do we see walking through the parking lot? Michael motherfucking Rooker.
That's awesome.
And Michael Rooker is like so high energy, so wild, so crazy.
That's what I've
all
heard.
the time. He is an unchained guy, and he's awesome. And it just goes to show, like, we're driving away, and I just like put my window down and just said, "Michael, we love you." And he goes, "I love you too." Yeah, he's a tremendous guy. So, for him to play this role, which is so dark and so brooding and so serious and so intense, it says something about his skill as an actor.
But it's also like his first thing he ever did. Like, this is him
showing
showing up
out of the fucking gate.
He was working as a janitor while he was making this movie.
That's wild, dude. That's wild. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, great stuff. Like I said, there is a sequel, Henry 2, Portrait of a Serial Killer, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have not seen it. Melinda says she's seen it, my wife, a couple of years ago, like several years ago. And she remembers it not being terrible, like being watchable, but not being as good as the first one. So I might have to check it out one day. Michael Rooker's not in it.
No.
That's a mark against it. It was made, I think, like 10 years later or something like that.
I honestly, like, I think when I even see it while I was doing whatever research, that would pop up, and I just have a bad feeling in my heart about it. Like, I don't want to watch that.
It's not a story that lends itself to a sequel. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that kind of a tale. And it's
sequelitis really hard.
Let's talk about sequelitis.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. You want to go, or shall I go?
All I've got is that, you've just got to go a different direction, or else it's just another...
It's just the same thing.
It's just like another Henry.
And a lesser version of it, probably.
I could see, like... It's really lame. All I could come up with was trying to do something with, maybe in the first movie... Yeah, it didn't work out. He had to kill her because she was tied to Otis. He killed Otis. And he'd already established that you don't kill people you know.
Right.
And
that's true.
Sure, technically killing her was killing somebody he knew, but it was wiping out the only link.
Right.
With her dead, with both of them dead, there's nothing.
No association, yes.
So he had to do that, but maybe he does seek some kind of connection somehow. Like, as a result of that.
He knows that he's capable of it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he decides to at least explore the idea of it and meets a woman. And, maybe she's got a kid to complicate things. Not like she had a kid, like a kid that's actually in her life present, living in her home with her.
Right.
And she's from, she's not from his world. She doesn't have the past he has.
Right.
For some reason, she likes him, but not because she's broken, just because he can be charming.
Right.
He seems like a solid blue-collar guy.
No, he's got a mask, and the mask works.
Yeah, he's very good at this. Yeah, he's simple, but he's you know, to her, he's kind and protective, and that's important. And I don't have details on how it would all go wrong, but of course it would.
Of course it would. Of course it would.
But that's the only thing I can think of story-wise to go is him going a little farther in the direction of trying to have a normal life, but it's way too late, obviously. It's doomed from the start.
Right. I could see that, and that's a valid point of like trying to do something different, and that's interesting. I went a very different direction. You know, we reveal that it's he's actually not insane. He's actually possessed by a ghost. And then, you know, there's a portal. He ends up on another planet. So we go to space. No, none of that. Henry, serial killer on the moon. No, what I came up
if
with.
You believe in the moon.
Henry, my sequelitis was Henry, Requiem for a Serial Killer. So it would be like now, and we would see old man Henry, and he would see him living in California. He's settled. He's largely learned to control his urges with a combination of collecting souvenirs from his kills, which is a habit he kind of learned from Otis.
Yeah.
Like he learned how to like relive his kills and enjoy them that way. So he doesn't have the urge to kill quite as often.
So he adopts it to extend the gap.
Right. And then he also like, he essentially, he's living in the wilderness in the desert, like off the grid. He'll like hunt small animals for food and he gets his kind of, you know, when he catches them, he'll like torture them and stuff in order to get his kind of whatever rocks off he needs to. And he just sort of manages to not kill by just staying as far away from other people as humanly possible.
Right.
Like, so he lives in the desert not far from what was his sister's ranch. His sister has since like died and the ranch has changed hands, whatever. But he's just sort of like subsisting essentially off the grid in a shack in the desert, you know? And we would take time to see his life, mostly hunting and foraging for food and avoiding people and fawning over a small collection of like keepsakes, you know?
Yeah.
And that is when a hiker shows up and invades his little world. And the hiker, appears to be trying to befriend him. And, Henry comes off as shy and withdrawn, but not like mean or standoffish. Like he's very carefully controlling any kind of vibes that would say this guy is in some way dangerous.
Right.
And gradually the hiker essentially just like wears Henry down and they start to like go out and hunt and scavenge together. Like Henry kind of brings him that far into things.
Yeah.
But before he can kind of get to the point of like showing him everything, you know, because he's learned not to trust people after Otis. The hiker reveals that the reason he's there is that he's a cop and he's tracked a serial killer to the area. New technology has become available that's tied together a series of murders from the 80s to the 90s. And he knows that the serial killer is probably somewhere around there. That's as much as he reveals to Henry.
Right.
And so it becomes this like cat and mouse game as Henry has to decide like, does this guy know I'm the guy he's looking for? And if he does know, then why isn't he just going right after me? Do I need to attack him first, or is he waiting for me to attack him so he has a reason to stake me out?
Right.
You know what I mean? And if he doesn't know who I am, should I go ahead and take him out and potentially draw attention to myself, or should I try to get him to move on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's very kind of cat and mouse in that way. And yeah. And so I don't know the ending. I would hope that the ending would be like something that we saw somewhere along the way, like Henry would like in some way try to fake his death.
Yeah.
But it would be kept ambiguous whether or not he actually died or he faked his death. And so we would, leave it open for another sequel,
Yeah. I like old man Henry.
you know?
I'd also like to see a crossover with Mr. Brooks. I love Mr. Brooks.
It's been a long time. Been a long time.
Well, it's kind of the polar opposite of Henry. I mean, it is as a movie, it's the portrait of a serial killer thing, but he's this highly educated, highly successful dude. He does kill the same all the time, but he has like James Bond level fieldcraft. You know, he's got fake passports and costumes, and when he kills with a silenced pistol, but puts a plastic bag over it to catch the casings and keep the like smoke from going out. And,
right.
You know, and then he vacuums and cleans the place and poses the bodies and takes pictures. And then he goes home, looks at the pictures for a little bit, and then throws them in a fire. Like, he burns his trophy almost immediately. It's more ritual than anything.
Yeah.
But then a photographer catches him doing it, takes a picture of him in the process of one of his murders, and wants to go along on a murder. Like, he blackmails him into letting him come along on one. And so it's just, you know, but he's never going to have the upper hand on this guy. He thinks he does, but he's not anywhere near smart enough to outdo Mr. Brooks.
Right.
And, yeah, so it is. It's the career serial killer who's so fucking good at it and can't be caught, except that he's super slick educated guy who doesn't move around. He is just very, very careful in his target selection.
Yeah. That's interesting. I don't know if I saw that or not, honestly.
Oh, you should. It's Kevin
Costner?
Yeah, it's Kevin Costner.
That's probably why I didn't see it.
And Dane Cook is the photographer, but they're really, really good. Say what you will about Kevin Costner. He was not the greatest Robin Hood, but he's a real good Mr. Brooks.
Okay. I'll take that. Sure. But this was an interesting ride for us to go down. I think like in terms of like dark tone, this and like Red Rooms were right around the same. Super dark tone for us.
Well, and in the same vein of, you know, there is that whole element of them recording their murders and stuff.
Right.
And it also is just such a grainy, low budget 80s movie that it has that, you know, voyeuristic feel to it. Well, like you said, when you can't hear him talking his way into the house with the bug spray.
Right.
It's another locked down shot from across the street.
Yes.
Which not only, you know, puts that distance there, but it also makes you feel helpless. Like, you know what's happening and what's about to happen.
Yeah.
You know he's going through that door one way or the other.
Right. And what that means, yeah.
Yeah, but you're not at a physical distance that, you know, even if you were really there, you could do anything about it.
Right.
You're seeing it from there's just a lot of really great cinematic choices, but also voyeuristic, I'm watching this from a distance thing.
Right.
And
like I said, sorry, go ahead.
No, but that's sort of at the heart of Red Rooms is the people wanting to see the violent murders of these girls.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a gritty, serious movie. There's no comedy to this horror.
Yes. Yeah, it's super dark, super intense. Like I said, I think it's really interesting that we don't see. There's a lot of killings that happen, and very few that out of the ones that happen that actually. The body count of the film, maybe about half of them are actually killed on screen.
Yeah, and I hadn't actually realized until you pointed it out that we don't see Henry kill anybody that isn't with Otis.
Right. It's interesting.
And even once he's with Otis, see, Otis shoots that guy. Otis plugs in the TV, which finishes off the other guy.
That's true.
Otis snaps the lady's neck, and Henry kills the other two in the family, so he does kill those two.
Well, and he does kill both of the prostitutes.
He kills both of the prostitutes, but that's just introductory killing. That's just pulling Otis into the fold. Once he does that, though, Otis does most of the killing.
Yeah.
When they're together.
Right. And then, he shoots the motorist. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes for an interesting film.
Yeah, until he kills Otis.
Right.
Which Otis is present for.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, we see that, because
and then the
Otis
next person
is
he kills is Becky, and Otis isn't there, and we don't see it.
When we don't see it.
Otis is our eyes. We are Otis.
I don't think I like the way you phrased that.
Otis is our window into Henry. We are Otis.
We are Otis.
I don't like it either. I need a shower now.
In a way, though, that is appropriate because it is a very grimy world, and by engaging with it, as entertainment, we are as grimy as Otis is. You know, it's apropos, as unpleasant as it might be.
And he is the one with an arc.
Right.
Nobody else really changes.
And it's a movie about a serial killer. We're here to see people get murdered. You know what I mean? Certainly Henry isn't there to see people get murdered or even necessarily to kill people. He's doing it because he has to, not because he's choosing to.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel with Otis, it's a choice. He's definitely not compelled in the same way.
No, he could not do it, but he wants to.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it all just makes very interesting because it's like with something this low budget, how much of that was pure artistic expression and how much of that was just, well, this is the movie that we can make.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like such an asshole for not just remembering the director's name, but John
McNaughton, yes.
Yeah, John McNaughton before this had only done documentaries, and I think that makes it creepier. Like that's like that long shot that I was just talking about. That was almost a documentary shot.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's the voyeurism. He really makes you feel it.
Yeah, for sure. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, definitely a modern classic.
Oh yeah.
As far as the genre goes, I'm glad we dove into it.
And it gave us Michael Rooker.
It gave us Michael Rooker, who's a gem. But next time, we're
doing more werewolves.
Baby. We're back to action horror with the fantastic Dog Soldiers.
Oh, I love Dog Soldiers.
Strap in, baby. Some of these accents are so Irish and thick you can't understand a word they're saying.
But you don't need to, because werewolves.
Werewolves. It's a soldier movie with werewolves. It's a blast.
Or is it a werewolf movie with soldiers?
It's a soldier movie with werewolves.
No, you're right. I think the director actually said that. I think he said specifically that. This isn't a werewolf movie. It's a soldier movie with werewolves.
It's great stuff. A lot of great cast in it to talk about. I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to watch it again, quite frankly. It's a fun movie.
The Sean Pertwee.
Yes. Oh, so good. Okay, but that's next time.
That is.
I have been Joe.
And I have been Chris.
This has been In the Veins.
In the Veins.
There is nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine.
Be surprised at the things you find. When you're lucky.
God, it knows I'm here.
Clear your minds. It knows what scares you. It has from the very beginning.
Plunging headfirst into some kind of black void of sheer, utter madness.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
It is entitled Naturan de Manto, roughly translated Book of the Dead.
You're gonna die up there.
We've got to return some videotapes.